My name is Wes Okeke. I am actually the CEO of Fruition Tech Labs in Houston, Texas, and also CEO of Cubayo Innovation Center, also in Houston, Texas. But Fruition is a incubator accelerator that focuses on technology, primarily software and hardware ideas and innovations that many inventors and startups come to us looking for support. Something very unique about us is we are a process-oriented accelerator and incubator company, meaning that we pride ourselves on repeatability of outcomes for our customers. So we have a 5-step process that has been copyrighted, that ensures that the steps taken to build a new tech product and hopefully that it goes into commercialization, that these steps are just very well defined so that the probability of success from the founders is high. We help startups in 2 different ways. One, we help them to validate their idea. In other words, what value proposition does this idea actually have? And that we do in our early stages, and we look at things such as the founders or the company's mission, their vision, their value proposition, and also the product that they're looking to develop. And we help build the foundation of the value propositions from that particular point. What our process is called is the 5 steps to fruition, and they are unlock, explore, plan, build, and launch. And each stage of this process helps to develop the right components behind the product design before the product is actually built. And again, these components are geared to target a certain human being or customer in mind, ensuring that when that MVP, whether that software is built or that hardware is built, that the customer that is going to adopt and interact with that particular product is clearly and intimately understood. So our process steps is what we walk our entrepreneurs through, and it includes many other things like building a team and building different strategies, so on and so forth, to help them again reach a high probability of success. I would say the 2 key challenges they have are, one, the value proposition, as I mentioned in my previous answer. How much value will my product actually have, or how will it be perceived by my customers? And that's very, very important, right? Because you can build something that is phenomenal in many ways, but if your customer doesn't perceive it in the way that it was intended, they may never purchase it. I think the second most critical and prominent problem we see is the actual building of the product. The majority, which is very interesting, the majority of the founders, probably about 90% of the startups that come to me, typically do not have a strong technical background. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's very exciting to me, because what it tells me, the person that is launching or has developed this new idea or this new product in mind is someone that has experienced something in life, and so they understand the problem intimately, but they do not have the technical know-how. So especially when it comes to software, they have no idea where to begin. And so Fruition helping them partner with the right development team, so to speak, the right partners, helping them build the right team members to ensure that this particular piece of technology or software that's being built is actually done properly, according to the overall vision of the founder. So again, 2 things: the value proposition and actually building the product. Perituza is has been a partner with us for probably a little over 4 years, and going on to 5 years. We started communicating and working with them in 2016 and really launched with them in 2017. And it was very interesting because I had never really worked with a um, development group before. And so, in some ways, I was a startup working with a development group, and Perituza fortunately mimics Fruition in one particular very important way, which is a process steps. So they have a very strong set of process steps that helps to eliminate um, gaps and major problems that many founders that have built software apps or platforms have run into. So as an incubator, accelerator, and as a tech expert, I am an engineer and a software developer at certain levels. I have run into countless, and I'm not exaggerating, entrepreneurs that have launched mobile apps or software platforms and have spent tens of thousands of dollars. I'm talking a lot of money, and haven't been able to finish. And this is because they did not have the right process steps set up in the beginning, and they went way past their scope. They didn't understand what the final product was actually going to look like, nor how much time it was going to take. And before you know it, they're out of money, and they're out of, they still don't have a deliverable product yet. So with Perituza, this has been an extremely beneficial and comforting process that they have incorporated in their business. And to the fact that we had another client come to us towards the end of last year that was interested in building a platform out, but they did not have the necessary funding yet to bring in Fruition. But based on what he and his team were looking to do, I honestly felt, and this is extremely rare, but I felt comfortable sending him to Perituza to help go through their process steps to determine the feasibility of his product, which went extremely well. And so now we are at that stage where I'm willing to potentially jump in there and partner with him and his team and potentially help him find funding. But again, what Perituza offers in regards to their process steps, the business analysis, which is pre-development of any software platform, has been extremely valuable and extremely critical in the software development stage. I actually tell them that when they are working with Perituza, that essentially what happens in this early stage or the process steps with doing a business analysis, which also includes developing a wireframe, it's actually building the blueprint to what they want to eventually build, and without writing any code. And so they essentially, not that we want them to, but they essentially could take this blueprint that Perituza has put together and shop around for a developer to actually build it. Now, Perituza may not really be excited that I say that, but what I'm doing is I'm letting them know that the blueprint and the design of what you're trying to do, it has been created by Perituza. And it's not just a wireframe, it's looking into also the cost to actually run your particular product, the cost to develop it, but then also the cost for it to be sustained and maintained, which means monthly cost to any APIs, database, platforms, any security protocols that need to be implemented. Perituza does that at the early stage. So at the end of this, what I would call the pre-prototype stage, you are well prepared and knowledgeable, so that when you decide to move forward, you understand what your costs are going to be, and it's not what typically happens with a lot of development organizations that don't take this step seriously is you're halfway through your product development or your software development, you've run out of money, and you're not even close to getting done. And so this really prevents that situation from happening. Now, it also provides a great amount of information and confidence if you want to present this particular project and the business analysis case that Perituza has done. If you want to present it to investors, if you want to help utilize it to build your team. So with one of these companies that has gone through this process, I'm now going to use what Perituza has done to introduce it to the investors. In fact, I've already had early conversations with the investors about what has been done. They're very interested because it's extremely rare that a VC or an angel investor is going to want to spend or invest money into a product that has not been built. But when you have gone through this step with Perituza, and it's not an expensive step in the grand scheme of things, but it's a very valuable step and critical that will prevent you wasting a lot of time and money. And so this is extremely important. Yes, I would always consider recommending Perituza with any software projects that Fruition engages with. Even if Fruition is not part of the overall product or business development of that startup. And this is mainly because of the trusted relationship that Fruition, particularly myself, has with Perituza and their team. And the team, specifically Asanka, may not realize this, but we had some issues with Perituza with one of our startups a few years ago, and there was some misunderstanding, miscommunication between the startup and Perituza. But Asanka made a very good, humble decision to take care of the founder and his product, even though I put more blame on the founder and how he handled it. And this honestly brought such deep respect from me for Asanka and his team that, and he may not realize this, but I use that scenario a lot. When I tell people that I trust Perituza, I give them this example. I said there was a situation where was concerning, and Asanka came in and he delivered when he didn't really have to. He delivered the rest of the project for free without charging the customer. And that's not something that I want him to do, or do I suggest he do often, or really at all. But that for me was, how can I say that was the clincher for me in trusting my business, my customers, my friends to Perituza and his team.